Getting an electronic signature from a trust, LLC, or other type of entity can be tricky. Some of the contracts we have come across have had the name of a trust or an LLC as the signature. However, that is not the correct way to electronically sign on behalf of an entity. Setting up an electronic signature for an entity in zipForms or the Glide platform is much easier than you think. Now, before I show you how it's done, you should have a good understanding of how an authorized signer physically signs on behalf of an entity. One example is the authorized signer signs their name followed by the title and sometimes followed by the name of the entity. Now, when signing electronically, card forms allow for an authorized signer to sign only with their individual name. First, however, you must disclose that the contract is being signed by a legally authorized signer by checking the box in paragraph 25 of the listing agreement and completing the rest of the information. You will also find this section toward the end of the purchase agreement. There is one for a buyer and one for a seller. If this section is properly completed, authorized signers may sign all of the card forms pertaining to this agreement with their individual name without the need to include their title or name of the entity in the signature. If this section is not completed, you may still complete card form RCSD to disclose who the authorized signer of the entity is along with their title. Now, keep in mind that what I'm showing you here only applies to card forms, not escrow documents or other types of documents involved in the transaction. Now, let me show you how to prep this up in zipForms so it shows the name of the entity on the forms while you obtain the correct authorized signer's signature without having to tweak anything during the signing process. Now, the most common mistake agents make in zipForms is that they dive right into the forms and start entering all the information before they enter the essential data, such as the property address and contact information that will autofill in the form. If that's you, then you're going to need to go into the contacts page by coming out of the document, then clicking on parties and enter the contact information correctly. If you already entered the name of the entity in the forms itself, you'll find the name spread out in the fields, which is okay, but you'll need to enter the authorized signer's individual name and their email address under the signing representative section. And that's key right here. That's what's going to be used to obtain the signatures, while the entity name in the top fields will remain on the form as the name of the seller. Now, if you're using Glide, it is a much easier process. The Glide platform is just a smarter platform than zipForms. For example, if you draw up a contract and you try to enter the name of your client in the form, it'll automatically open the contact form page. Not only that, but you are forced to tell Glide what type of contact it is, whether it's an individual or an entity. Just don't forget to enter the name of the entity and the authorized signer's email address, and you're all set. After your client has electronically signed as an authorized signer for the entity, this will be the final result right here. The entity name will show on the form as the seller, and the signature will be correctly signed as an individual. Again, the signature is only valid if you have completed paragraph 25 of the listing agreement, or if it's a purchase agreement, paragraph 32 or 33. If those paragraphs are not filled out for your entity client, then card form RCSD will need to be completed. Now, I hope that helps. If you have a fellow colleague that might benefit from this video, would you mind sharing this video with them? And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or to our new Facebook channel, Professional Transaction, where I will continue to give you transaction tips on card forms, zipForm, and the Glide platform. And I'll see you next time.